Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for more Chinese Dota here on Beyond the Summit. The Nanyang Championships are well underway. We're in the thick of it, gods, in the Chinese qualifier. And today, we witnessed, for at least you and I, the debut of EHOME and Tongfu's new rosters. EHOME especially, some big changes here. No more ROTK as that kind of big piece that holds the whole team together. And they have added, of course, Kaka as well as Old Chicken with the departure of two of their recent players. So it's a new day for EHOME, RTK trying to fill the void that Chow 8 left for LGD. And now for Tongfu, Faith from IG.
That's a big pickup. You've got a TI champion in your midst, but
as to how much it's been a little while.
I mean, that's like people saying Na'Vi had a TI champion in their midst with Artsal. Doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be amazing and win you games.
Guys, you heard it here first. Na'Vi is back, according to gods. Be sure to tweet it.
Hey, Artsal left.
BTS gods.
He's no longer on the team.
All right.
They got PSM now.
Draft has begun, Mr. BTS God. So let's see if we can.
So EHOME, according to Wikipedia, CTY is going to be on the carry role now, and that's what's kind of being I'm not sure if that's 100% going to be the case, but I think he's been playing carry with Old Chicken mid. Old Chicken used to play mid on his old team, and
now I know you're a big Old Chicken fan.
This guy
so
owns,
talk to all the people out there who don't know about the powerful player that is the Old Chicken.
For one thing, he's got one of the best nicknames in Dota.
Winter started cracking. I was like, dude, his name is so great. How can you not root for this guy? And he just started cracking up. He's like, yeah, you're right. I don't know if it's like a translation thing where it just sounds funny and it's supposed to sound a little different in Chinese, but I mean, he's using the anglicized spelling of it, so.
Yep. Now, he was on the old Newbie Young squad. He was on Tongfu, I think, if you went way, way back, even before that. But yeah, for Newbie Young, he was their kind of standout star player. And Newbie Young looked really promising for a while. They were actually like beating the main Newbie team for periods of time leading up to TI as well. So we'll see how he does here on EHOME. There's big shoes to fill when you're taking over the mid lane from CTY, but I feel like the carry role does suit CTY. He was a very farm-intensive mid laner. He had great mechanics. He'd win his lane often, and then mid-game would sometimes not be entirely sure what to do. I feel like the carry role in some ways could be quite well suited for him. So.
He had some bursts of brilliance at TI where he actually, like, there were a few games where I cast EHOME in the group stage. We were casting together where I was like, CTY is playing perfectly. He's winning his lane. He's not overextending, which was like his cardinal sin, was winning his lane and then just throwing the advantage away. And he would still keep his farm up, but going into the main event, he didn't necessarily have that consistency. So,
when I think those are kind of attributes which will suit him as a carry player, because so much of being a carry player now is about decision making and map awareness. Like when you're trying to split, like looking at anti-mage as your classic carry, like knowing when it's safe to split push really deep in a lane, knowing how and when to creep skip a lane, and then never getting caught out. So I feel like he's going to be well suited to the carry role. He used to play this role going way back to like the Vici gaming team where he played with ZSMJ, I think. Was that? No,
that wasn't Vici.
That wasn't Vici, and that was, who was he on then? He was playing the carry because I remember he was that's the game where he was anti-mage and bought and sold like 10 different items.
Super old Vici gaming. Yeah.
So that was.
But ZSMJ wasn't. Was he on that team?
No, that was before ZSMJ joined the team. He was playing with FY Fenrir and he was on carry role.
Yeah, and CTY. No one was talking about FY or Fenrir. Yeah. Everyone was talking about CTY, the hot shot. That was when they had the Backstreet Boys team photo. Yeah. Oh man.
So he started as a mid, then got picked up by Vici Gaming and played carry because they had Super playing mid, I think. Well, I can't remember who was playing mid back then. This is going way back. And then he went back to mid for EHOME, and now he's on the carry role once more. So we'll see how he does. I think he's fine playing the carry. I feel like for me, Old Chicken is the one player who's like more like very much like a mid player by role, and CTY has got that slight flexibility. He reminds me a lot of Arteezy in a lot of ways. Great mechanics, can dominate his lane, but doesn't mean you have to put the guy mid. Arteezy as carry was the best carry player at TI5, and it's definitely a place where some good mid players can shine as well.
Do you know much about 11? He has no bio on Wikipedia, so.
I'm trying to think what team he came from. He had.
Let's see, on Gosu Gamers, they are saying he played for, was it Immortal Magneto Gaming?
Yeah, that may be where his name's definitely familiar from one of the kind of tier 2 teams from China.
I'm not recognizing his name.
Was he there at DAC? Maybe Immortal Magneto Gaming had a good run during DAC, I remember, in the qualifiers.
So he was on IMG as a support player.
Okay.
So I guess it's going to be Lanham support, 11 support, Old Chicken mid, CTY safe lane, and then Kaka off lane. Is that the the role distribution here?
Possibly.
I guess we'll find out. So for now, we want to just look at the draft. Let's see what what are the teams cooking up. So ban-wise, slightly interesting. Undying gets banned first phase here, along with the Tusk. These heroes, the Tusk not so surprising, but the Undying's normally been getting through first phase. Gyro will be your first pick. EHOME reply with the Wyvern Lina. And then Tongfu going into the Clockwork, who's kind of been a little forgotten, I want to say, in the few Chinese Dota games we've cast. Second stage banned occasionally, but never first stage.
It's a great hero against Lina, so I like the idea of pick it. Synergizes great with the Gyrocopter. I feel a bit surprised mostly by the Winter Wyvern pick. I don't feel like this is a first two-pick hero. It's not great against the Gyrocopter as well, necessarily. You've got Rocket Barrage to go through the Cold Embrace, and I feel like having an Earthshaker plus Lina opener would have been a lot stronger than the Wyvern plus Lina. The ES Lina just find kills so easily, and ES just gives you such a good team fight. And yeah, I mean, you don't know the Clockwork's coming for sure. ES does struggle a bit against Clockwork, but I'm a little surprised to see what EHOME will do with this Wyvern. It does kind of go back to TI5 where they're wanting that Wyvern plus Phoenix duo a lot and going heavy team fight, and it looks like they are going to go very team fight focused.
They got
with
the Darkseer. There's no RTK here, so in theory the team style could have changed, but Lanham, the wily old veteran that he is at the helm now. So that's another interesting storyline with EHOME is you look at Lanham, this is a super veteran player. Whenever I've seen him on any team just interacting, he's very vocal. He's very active in the drafts in game, like when you watch him at the summit, the way he would communicate with the team. But he was never a captain. He was never, maybe was a drafter here or there, but definitely not a primary drafter for any of his teams. Had a lot of strong personalities with him in the past. Mushi, Burning. Even though Burning's kind of quiet publicly, apparently he's very forceful behind the scenes from what Winter has been saying and what Mushi's experience with him was. And now he's got some big shoes to fill. He's got to step in for the R-God. There's your CTY Classic.
Yeah. The anti-mage coming
but
right
I'm
back
sure
out.
I'm sure his anti-mage play has evolved a lot from 2 years ago. Yep. And they pick a Storm into it.
Oh gosh!
Every time I see this, I'm like, well, it could work, and I feel like it never does.
I mean,
Storm just always explodes.
Even it's not like the hero does great against Lina. Also, like Yule's combo destroys a Storm. You've got good counter initiation. So if the Clockwork's in position, as soon as that Yule's goes on Storm, Clockwork's throwing a hook out and preventing Lina and killing the Lina off. But yeah, this is ballsy. I do not advise picking Storm Spirit into anti-mage, but
we'll see what they have planned.
And the thing is, like, they want to kind of fight early. They want to fight probably before the Battle Fury comes online with the Gyrocopter, but I feel like mid-hero like a Queen of Pain would be more suited to that. You've got Sonic Wave, which is pure damage to go through the AM. You can go for an Orchid or a Hex build to give you some lockdown as well, some control to deal with the AM. But Tongfu at least feeling confident about the Storm. You just have to play you can play Storm against AM, but you have to be so conservative with your mana usage, and then late game, once AM gets up to Manta Abyssal, you just get demolished. So.
Yeah, you ideally need to get that early Orchid and keep him down. If it turns into the farm war, the AM always catches up. It just seems inevitably he finds his items. And Tongfu will ban out the Kunkka.
Okay.
Huh. Why Kunkka? Set up for Lina, I guess?
Lanham's played Kunkka support like a little bit on EHOME, at least like around the TI era, and maybe something they've been doing recently as well.
Yeah, I mean, when they ran the Kunkka, it was like Shadow Demon Kunkka, I think was the main combo.
You'd normally want to have a setup. I guess the Vacuum... I mean, Vacuum Boat Torrent is pretty scary, but...
It's so easy to dodge, I feel like, most of the time. Like, you gotta wait until the boat's about to hit and then back them, or they just all run away. But EHOME will go into a Disruptor now, so they do get another hero that can shut down Storm. This could be a very tough Storm game if he doesn't have a good start. Okay. I am surprised to see that Kunkka ban. Like you mentioned, it is an old Lanham special, but normally you'd have the setup for it if you're going to go that direction. Yeah,
so, I mean, EHOME throwing some more teamfight heroes here. You've got great synergy between Darkseer with the Disruptor as well as the Winter Wyvern, and 4 heroes that can fight kind of independently of the anti-mage. So AM can be focusing more on split pushing and then just TP in as kind of cleanup for a team fight, especially if you see Storm overcommit a lot of mana. That's when AM's going to be more than happy to TP in for that big mana void.
So Tongfu now looking to finish out the draft here. Looks like they should need another support, as they already have their Gyro and Storm duo. So most likely the Storm mid, the Gyro safe lane. We'll throw the clock into the off lane. And then they need that second support hero. What's it going to be? Don't have the best lockdown for an anti-mage. Do they want... I was going to say, do they want a Lion? But he was actually banned, so... Rubik also removed. Shaker removed. I mean, what are we looking at here? Maybe a Sand King to catch the anti-mage?
The Sand King, I mean, gives you some, I would say, kind of much-needed team fight as well. Yeah, good
There
call
you
on the
go.
Sand King.
Well, I mean, options limited. Maybe not their first choice, but it's what was left.
So maybe even inspired by the game we just saw as well, if they were kind of keeping track of that one. So we'll see how things progress here for Tongfu, but it does feel like a very EHOME favored draft in my mind. The early game to me is key. Tongfu, they want to get Gyrocopter involved as early as possible. He wants to hit that level 6 to 8 stage, go around, fight with his team with the clockwork. If anything, maybe the Storm will be focusing a bit more on farming up that Orchid to deal with an AM while the Gyro fights and creates space. So it'll be more the carry creating space for the mid laner this time around rather than vice versa.
All right, gods. Well,
10 seconds.
now that you've seen the full draft, do you think they have what it takes to tackle this anti-mage?
EHOME. I don't think
You're
so.
giving EHOME the draft win.
Yep. They've
All right, we've got
got
our
it.
expert
Easy.
analyst laying down the law. Says EHOME, you've out-drafted Tongfu. Let's see if that proves to be the case with the execution. As we get underway here, guys, game 1 of our best of 3. Ignore the scoreboard. The scoreboard is a lie. We've got 11, who apparently is the offlaner. Someone tweeted at me for darks, for EHOME. So he'll be on the darks here. Going to block that first big camp. Does not opt to go for the other one over towards mid that the Storm may also want to get his hands on. So a bit of a change up from last game. Lanham will be the support Winter Wyvern. Kaka will be the disruptor. So it's Old Chicken on the Lina mid, as you mentioned, will be the mid player. And I believe CTY on the anti-mage. For the Radiant, we've got Zex Bingo, now known just as Bingo, on the clockwork. U9 going to be handling the Storm Spirit. Faith, the new addition from Invictus Gaming, will be on the Dazzle. Zinq on the Gyro. And then supporting as the Sand King will be Kale.
Kale. I think his LPC, I guess. But I like how he's added the extra Kale to his name.
I guess it's more of a Kale, but...
Kale, yeah. Early Dire Ward going to block some of the big camps for the Sand King to prevent stacks. Just a sentry, so it won't be lasting all too long, but it could force out like a counter sentry, at which point you're just forcing economic damage to the Tongfu side. And yeah, I kind of like what EHOME are doing here with the just early game. You're going to have the darks. You're actually helping out with the mid block, so look to make sure at this point they care most about the mid lane, Lina having a good start, and the AM getting free farm. So they're happy to send the darks here to the mid lane for a block, even if it means he's going to miss the start, miss his own block. Like, you want to block your off lane so that the range creep gets in front, but he won't even get a chance to do that.
Oh, Lanham, the quick double D ward.
Damn.
Sneaky little plays there from the Wyvern. They left Old Chicken up on the high ground, so they had the vision, and 9 loses his control over this mid lane a little bit. One of those small but big moments, as we will see. Yeah, safe lane anti-mage. Clockwork just trying to draw the creeps back a bit. So Lina versus Storm mid, but Lina now with no ward advantage going the way of the Storm. So look to get that early harassment on him. The extra rain creep right now, but quickly deny it, gets the stun off, and already the fun begins for the Storm player.
Oh, yeah. One of the heroes you can go level 1 stun again.
I mean, just look at the attack range on this hero. Just so ridiculous.
Oh,
and Storm, of course, not blessed with the best.
yeah. An Old Chicken doing the right thing, which is just standing far up in lane and you just have to keep kind of threatening at LSA, even just pump faking it, and it's going to keep Storm really scared far back. He salves not even that efficiently. He gets to max HP while the salve is still going on and immediately cops an LSA and more harassed. So
even with 5 armor, too. A Storm normally
yeah,
can handle harassment early on, but Lina just a little too much up her sleeve.
good when you're trading hits, but you don't get to trade against Lina.
Zex Bingo will get harassed a bit here top lane. There's an early point in the Glips picked up, not the Thunderstrike or Kinetic Field that we often see.
Oh, wow. 11's just gone level 1 jungle. He says, I don't want to lane against a Gyrocopter. I feel like this is a bit surprising because you just free up the Radiant supports a lot. So Dazzle can just freely stack camps. Sand King can look to gank mid potentially. It looks like Sand King even has been jungling already using the pull camps to get level 2.5, and we'll look for level 3 here, so...
Yeah, unfortunately did miss on that first D ward, so
yes.
won't be able to stack, but Faith was busy stacking the big camp.
So he might take the big camp initially and then let the Storm take it later on. Once they get their other big camp back, it gets a lot easier for Sand King to leave some farm for the Storm.
9 cops another stun mid, old chicken continue to lay into him. Does pop that last tango.
I mean, he's actually out farming the Lina. Lina's prioritized the harass to the extent where Storm just sitting back, getting last hits is actually kind of paying off.
And good news though, the anti-mage is just having an easy lane top. 17 and 5. Yep. Absolutely no pressure on him because they are full dual supporting here. As they'll glimpse the clockwork out of his own cops. Then they get the connect feed. Oh, just a bit out of position there. Kaka could have had the early first blood if that connects.
Yeah. That would have been huge, especially if AM gets that. You get such a fast Battle Fury with a first blood to your name, so...
Very narrow miss.
Yeah, Bingo knows the Arctic Burn will be on cooldown for a little bit longer, so he's feeling very confident in this offlane with boots and a stout shield. They can't really fight him head on. He's actually going to fight these supports.
Yeah, come at me, Kaka. Just cog him back and continues to burn mana. Well played there. Sand King will be, unfortunately for the Storm, stealing some of his stacks. He will... Ideally, your Storm would love to have this, but U9 it's gonna miss out on that recovery farm a bit.
The fact he kills it now means you can just start stacking it again because Storm wasn't... I guess level 5 is when you can start jungling a Storm, but he'll just have to prioritize the lane more and then start stacking from 5 minutes onwards. Because Sand King's other camp is now available. Dazzle there to stack it for him.
Yeah, and he will start doing so. Faith playing that selfless support role, just trying to ensure that his cores or heavy farming supports get off to a hot start. U9 will bottle up an invis. Yep. So we see Lanham flapping on through from the high ground LPC, trying to scout him out. They have the Radiant Ward here, so they do see this.
Yeah, they see...
They punish.
11 at bottom. It comes down as a level 5 Darkseer, so this Iron Shell going to cause problems for the Gyro in the lane, who did start with 8 Tangos, though, so he's got a decent amount of regen still left, and can hold his own for a little while, but if he starts tanking too much Iron Shell damage, he will need some help soon.
U9 definitely trying to set up here mid. But Lanham's in position. Only level 1, though. He can't really do a whole lot to save him.
Yeah.
Same time, the Sand King. Back to the woods.
That was a nice little gank attempt, too, because you see the Storm missing, and you're not immediately thinking, like... And you see Sand King mid, you're not thinking, like, oh, okay, Storm's invis trying to gank me. You're thinking, oh, Storm's gone to the jungle to finish his level 6, typically, but not the case as Lina plays nice and defensive there.
That's a good point, but unfortunately, the creep wave was a little bit too far back, and the Sand King didn't have the opening. So Lanham will now crack level 2.
He's in a dangerous spot, because Laguna Blade on U9 could be the death.
Gotta be careful. Mind your positioning here if you're Mr. U9. And you can see he knows it. Oh, fishing. And the beauty of this Lina stun with the 7-second cooldown is you can just always look to get aggressive. If you miss, I'll have another one in a few moments.
As soon as he hit 6, he went for the kill on Lina. He's like, oh wait, there's a Wyvern here. Let's get out.
Yeah, that kill is not happening.
Yeah. And Sand King continuing to take those camps on the far left side. Needs to free that up for the Storm, who's not farming. This is going to be a pretty fast blink, though, as LPC now has his other camp that's been stacked by Faith. It's going to keep on getting stacked. It looks like LPC not going to find anything there, though.
Yeah, he's going to try to stack the regular pole camp here.
All right, you got that. That'll work.
Top lane, Zex Bingo will go down. That's the first blood. Looks like it was a glimpse. Kinetic Field already used earlier, and they will secure the kill. So it wasn't the Lina who got it. They did it the good old-fashioned way on the clockwork top.
So Tongfu's fight timing is going to come from the Sand King blink, it feels like. That's also going to come when Gyrocopter's ready to fight as well. He hasn't picked up a TP scroll yet. Probably will do so. I mean, he ideally wants to do so now. He's level 7, has max
Lina found U9, but does miss a couple attacks uphill.
And didn't have the Slave and Laguna mana. I mean, could have popped the regen rune, but...
Yeah, wants to save it, I guess, and ensure he can get maximum farm out of that. What do you think, Gods, overall? The trades are on the map. Sand King's going to have a pretty fast blink. CTY getting total free farm top. Lina is pulling ahead substantially mid, now up 500 net worth. Do you have a favorite here through the early laning stage?
I favor slightly EHOME just because Clockwork's not getting that much XP out of the off lane. if they had like a good level 6 timing on Clockwork going on, I feel like Tongfu's mid game could be really scary just when they hit clock with Hookshot, Sanking with Blink Dagger, but...
Ooh, this could help accelerate that level 6, as he will find Lanham. Has the Arctic Burn available, unfortunately, though.
Oh, yeah.
Slap away, but Storm's on the hunt. Ball's in deep. U9 wants this one real bad. Just drop that extra remnant and gets the proc.
Clock went for the KS, too. I mean, it's worth it. If he gets XP for the kill, then he needs a level 6 badly, so... Sanking's Blink nearby. And this, to me, is where Tongfu are going to look to get that Blink and then kill Lina right away. Like, they're going to just gank this mid lane using the Sanking Blink. Storm needs some more mana, so they want to try and secure an 8-minute room for him or just bottle Crow here. And then we'll see what they can do. If they can kill Lina as soon as they get the Sanking Blink Dagger, I'd say Tongfu are still like in a at least even state for this game.
One hero we haven't really talked about, 11. He went to the jungle early, but he has since returned to the bottom lane. Cracks level 7. And we'll grab a bounty rune here and double damage, meanwhile spawning top. That will be Old Chicken's snag. So now go on the Lina at your own peril, I would say. Better fully burst her down lest she turn the fight against you.
And Storm, mana depleted, is probably just headed back to base because Storm and Sanking with Blink Dagger and full mana can kill that Lina from full.
Level 8 Sand King is ahead of the Storm on experience, actually. Impressively enough.
Yeah.
He's been leeching a lot mid, though, is the one downside.
He finished his Blink Dagger by taking the mid lane rather than the jungle, which was very greedy stuff. They've got to expect this Blink timing, though. I mean, it's ridiculously fast, but...
I mean, they even have the Hill Ward, and I'm pretty sure they saw Sand King roaming around a little bit.
He's got a smoke for this, so he's looking to bypass that high ground vision. As it is daytime as well, so it's very easy to get spotted going for this first gank.
Level 3 Wyvern doesn't really feel like the hero you want to reveal your Blink for, but...
You're hoping for Lina to show up, but Lina was just jungling.
He's been scouted.
Oh, yep.
And the ping comes out quickly.
They almost definitely will have clicked in there.
Yeah, they even pinged it, so they know.
Oh, they didn't see the smoke. They smoked at least in fog, but...
They didn't see this one coming, though. Let's find out. Gyro with the ult ready.
They'd seen the smoke on Sanking, though, so in some ways, like, they'd seen the smoke, they saw the two heroes mid, and then they see him go into fog. Sure, they don't see the smoke actually get cast, but...
They're doing the math.
Yeah, they have all the pieces of the puzzle to figure it out, and Darkseer just goes back to base, full HP. He's not... His life is not worth... Well, the tier 1 tower's going down regardless, so... It'd be his life and the tier 1 tower.
Last hit will go to Xinkyu. He's going to build towards a Bracer. Maybe the drums coming next for him. And the Blink Dagger still sitting ready, but has not found an opening to use it yet. We'll buy another smoke. Seems LPC may just look to try again.
CTY very close to Battle Fury. You're looking at 12-minute Battle Fury treads, which is about as fast as it gets. You can get that like 10-minute Battle Fury if you skip the treads, but...
He's over 8 CS a minute.
I mean, this is the great thing to do. At this stage, you just want to push out the lane fast so you can take this jungle camp as well. So just efficient AM farming. He farms the lane and he can farm 2 jungle camps and then he'll farm the next creep wave without missing a CS. So it's just very hard to keep up if you're a Gyrocopter. And that's where it's not just like Sanking who needs to get involved. It's Gyrocopter who needs to be getting kills and fighting with his team. Xinkyu can't just passively farm the bottom lane and expect to keep up with an AM.
Well, he's not keeping up. Already down 1,000. And they are going to smoke again. This one not scouted either. But EHOME in position to protect their precious CTY should he get ganked.
I'm not sure they can even kill the AM with a Sanking Gyro. They'd have to do like a... I think they'd have to use Epicenter as well as cooldown.
They do have Hookshot now for what little it's worth. There's always that Wyvern and as well as a Glimpse available. And they're going to commit. They're going to start with the Epicenter. Blinking in on the CTY. Burrow Strike is there. Call down as well. But he's put under. Kept alive by the Wyvern here a bit longer. They just need a little more time and he blinks out. CTY walks away scot-free. And they committed so much for this one. Even a rocket not enough to finish the damn job. He walks away. They do force a TP or two. But they've also brought in U9. Yep. Darkseer says, great. I get to farm bottom.
4v4 in the top lane. No kills were had. They needed the Storm to get that kill from like the get-go, but at the same time, they didn't expect that. They thought, okay, those 3 heroes would have been enough if not for the fact that Disruptor and Wyvern were both there, were both ready, had the killed Embrace, had the Static Storm. It just wasn't enough.
Just good play by EHOME. They recognize AM a very likely target for the gank with Lina off the map.
Yeah. And the Sand
play
King,
it
the
safe.
Sand King blink was up, so they... And Gyro, yeah, Gyro had also gone missing from bottom, so...
So gods, that's now 2 smokes that don't connect. They're down to 1 in the stash currently, or in the shop, and they're gonna buy it now. Faith.
I think you need to. Like, there's no point saving the smokes for the 15-20 minute stage when now is the time when your lineup is at its strongest.
My apologies, everybody. We did miss old Chicken getting jumped mid lane. Blink Burrow, I think, into a Storm follow-up. They get the kill.
And this is, I mean, Tongfu just have to keep going for as many kills as possible in the next 5-10 minutes. Otherwise, they lose this game. And it's much more about kills and objectives. They want to try and follow up the kills with objectives, as we're seeing here in the mid lane. But getting towers alone, I feel, doesn't cut it if your opponents are getting farm and pressuring the other lanes.
Xingqiu will make short work of that creep and starts working on the tower now as well. Last hit going to him too. So that's 2 towers for Xingqiu. Allows him to stay neck and neck with the anti-mage, but now the fun begins. The farm begins. And the magic might be dying soon. CTY with the 13-minute Battle Fury. Slightly delayed by that gank. Ever so slightly.
Yeah, slightly set back. But he's looking just
It's
fine
still an
here.
extremely fast Battle Fury.
Yeah. And he'll be able to just power farm the jungle as well as the lane now. Does have to be a little wary of that Sand King blink initiation catching him
Poor
out.
LPC. Even the
So
creeps are
spray
working
range.
against him.
Yeah. I'm sure Reborn's to blame for that one or something like that.
Well, did they fix the bug where the creeps, like, once they aggro you, like, they don't stop following you at Reborn? I know, I think they have fixed it, but the first few games I cast, like, they would just... There was, like, a conga line of creeps that went, like, all the way like that, and they had no vision of a hero for about 15 seconds.
Oh, wow. That's good. I know even in, like, Source 1, like, ranged creeps would sometimes, like, draw aggro to you, even when they never got vision of you. Like, if you were, like, hiding in a tree spot for some reason, it was...
The other thing that really needs to be fixed in Reborn, which is also a Source 1 issue, is backdoor protection. Like, it's so glitchy and random and inconsistent.
I had a big rant about that with Dakota when I was casting with him, like, a week ago.
Yeah.
No, but I don't even feel like Ice Frog understands how it's, like, how is it meant to work? Because there's ways you can bypass it by, like, tossing a creep onto that random, like, high ground place in the top lane and stuff. Like,
Well, and sometimes I'll
Is that intended?
just see someone start hitting a tier 3 tower or Rax. There's no creeps in the base, and there's just no backdoor protection. Like,
absolutely.
And then other times there is backdoor protection, and there's no rhyme or reason to it.
I think the most common one, which I don't understand, is, like, let's say your creeps go in, they die, but you're still hitting the tower. So the tower still has no backdoor protection. Then you finish killing the tower, and then you start hitting the Rax, and then the Rax has backdoor protection. As soon as you start hitting a new building, that building has backdoor protection, but the tier 3 tower doesn't have it because you had, like, you at least entered with creeps. That to me is, I don't get
To
that.
me, if you don't have creeps in the base, it should start having backdoor protection.
But like, if you enter with a creep wave, then you don't. Like, the idea is if you enter with a creep wave, even if they kill the wave, you should not have backdoor protection, though.
Not indefinitely. If you're just sitting there for like 30 seconds, this is the thing though, is there's no clear rule.
Yeah, like, how is it meant to work?
I personally don't like that, but that's just me, I guess. Hook shots come in, beautiful catch there. As Zex Bingo will find 2, but wasn't able to get the cogs off, courtesy of the Static Storm. Ends up getting blown up by the Lina. Maybe LPC can follow this one up, gets the Burrow. Epicenter combination. CTY's in rather deep, but looks for the Mana Boy, brings him low, trying to finish him off. He's too low to engage further. A little karate chop from 11. 1-for-1 exchange, and looks like he won't get away. Blake Burrow follows it up. Then the glimpse back, but too late. Damage already done. And good news, the anti-mage will survive.
Although they don't get the Storm Spirit kill. CTY takes time off farming for that. And definitely, that was a full damage Mana Void. As far as Storm's Mana Pool goes, he was completely depleted, but he's just tanky. With a Point Booster and Strength Treads, he was still pretty much full HP, so didn't quite have the damage to bring him down all the way.
On the Vlads now. Gyrocopter gonna punish this a little bit. Tries to steal the creeps. Almost kills off CTY. Only has the 1 point in spell shield.
Good old rough Brad.
And you want to come in and fight? Okay, see ya, Kaka. Xingqiu. This is some aggressive style Dota, but now he may pay for it. There goes the Lina stun, tanking the Rocket Barrage just to make sure they get the kill. The Laguna gets plopped out.
That's not worth in the end, unfortunately. Big boost to where Lina's at now, and we'll see where Old Chicken looks to go after this, whether it'll be the Bloodstone or the Aghanim's Rush. Against the Gyro, who is going BKB, maybe you'll prioritize the Ags a bit more. But Either approach can work.
Yeah, that's where I feel like Gyro started to fall off at TI, actually, was when the Lina picks came out, and everyone was rushing eggs.
Gyro's just... Gyro actually gets countered by Lina, it feels like, just because of how far Lina sits back, and you can't really get up close for Rocket Barrage damage, and Ag's Laguna Blade.
She can always
does
force
so
your
damage.
BKB as well, just by Yulzing you.
Yeah. Forcing an early BKB in a fight really hurts a Gyro.
Well, Vlad's is complete, gods, and they are a dire anti-mage lineup. So perhaps EHOME going to think about the Roshan soon.
Well, AM is in the neighborhood, but can't really do it on his own.
170 CS. That's 17.5 minutes.
He's at 10 a minute, basically, essentially.
And this is coming to fights, getting pressured in his lane a little bit for about 2-3 minutes. Well, I say coming to fights. Comes to one fight. But still, that's more than some anti-mages.
Yeah. 10 last hits a minute is like the AM dream. Like, especially for this stage of the game before you get really farmed.
Or the nightmare if you're on the other team.
Yeah.
That's the... We've got an anti-mage problem, guys.
Yep.
Let's see what they do about it.
Definitely feels like the case right now. And the rest of EHOME still getting a decent amount out of the map as well. Like you've got the Lina getting pretty farmed. Darks is working on a 4 stuff now to help deal with the clockwork. Looks like Old Chicken actually going to go for a BKB before an Ag. Or at least has picked up an Ogre Club, so it still could be the Ags. But BKB, a very important item in this game against all of these Radiant heroes outside of like the Dazzle.
Yeah, I'm curious to see if he considers that. It's definitely not a common second item pickup on Lina. Quite common third, I would say, after the Ags, but second, not normally what people go for.
I think you could get away with it just because if you're on the EHOME side, you're thinking, yeah, we've definitely got the late game with an anti-mage, and like the problem is if Tongfu start dominating fights and getting a bunch of kills and snowballing off that. So going for a BKB is kind of a safe way to play this.
Oh, CTY, he was scouted out here, has the blink available, deeper into the trees he'll go. 9, just no mana left. In fact, he's got to be careful not to get jumped the other direction as anti-mage will come in. I would say U9's trying to bait here, but elsewhere there's a lot of action breaking out on the north side of the fight. Xingqiu gets trapped up near his own tower, ends up running through the wall, will die to that as the anti-mage engages in deeper. CTY continuing pursuit, and it looks like they did manage to grab the Dazzle with the glimpse back. They'll find the kill here as well, still looking for that Mana Void, and CTY overextending, gets pulled, gets hooked, epied, and done.
The old CTY is back, LD. I like it. Dota games will be exciting if this is what we're in for.
That was totally unnecessary. I'm sure he's going to get an earful from Ladham for that.
I mean, I get the idea. Like he's like, okay, Storm's got like 150-ish mana. Let's try and chase him down. But Storm had full HP still. Like even if you hit him with what level 2? Yeah, level 2 mana void. If you have level 3 mana void, yeah, maybe you can justify that. But that mana void would do half of Storm's HP.
The other thing I think is he saw the fight top, but he's like, oh, they can't bring that many reinforcements.
Yeah, Storm can't TP in,
but every hero who wasn't top was bottom trying to kill him. So they had that. If the Sandcade's not there, it's fine. But no, the +1, that's always how they get you. That does mean an early Veil pickup for LPC.
Okay.
Boy, I have not seen a Veil of Discord in a very long time.
And right now, I feel like AM has gone too stats heavy. I think what a lot of AMs have been doing is cutting down on the stat points so you can hit the timing where you actually fight a lot better. Because like he was chasing down the Storm there with level 1 mana break, which is another kind of issue he had. He wasn't actually burning much mana with each hit.
Yeah, that's probably the biggest issue as far as that offensive play goes.
And now he's in a position where he wants to go max spell shield so he can have that survivability because there's a ton of magic damage on the Radiant. So he's not going to start leveling up mana break until level 17 again, most likely, which we're not looking at a max mana break for some time. I think, like, I mean, it's like a lesser known team like Cloud9 right now with Ritsu. Like, he's going probably only 1 point in stats at level 3 or level 4, and then by level 16, he has all his spells max. At most, he gets maybe 2 stat points, but very much an emphasis more towards leveling up your skills nowadays than getting as many stats as we're seeing CTY get.
Well, CTY is level 15 now. He goes for the 4th point in spell shield, so going to continue to play more defensively after that death.
Yeah.
At least I'm sure that's the hope here for EHOME, is that they don't lose their anti-mage again. Old Chicken moving through the jungle. It will be the BKB, so right on the money there, Guts.
They're all going defensive. Like, you've got AM with stats, Lina with
tower.
BKB.
The circle is drawn. The call is made that the Dire are in the Radiant Woods, and Tongfu is right on the money about that. CTY keeps the lane pushed in. He's going to start pressuring the tower. The tower isn't in eye range. They force out the glyphs, so now they can maybe backstab this. All kinds of pings from here, from EHOME.
They're going to look to get some scouting info with the Rocco, though doesn't see too much.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
Tongfu are smoked. Got another.
Cancelled hook onto an image. Good map awareness from Bingo to realize what was happening, but ultimately the smoke from Tongfu doesn't look like it's going to achieve much. They head towards his bottom rune. Old Chicken doesn't have his BKB just yet. He's in trouble.
Trapped out and the Veil deployed. That means the Rocket Barrage does all kinds of work. Xingqiu finds another. He's still staying relatively close to the anti-mage, courtesy of his 3 kills, and now the walk directly into the Roche pit. Be careful here. Storm now has the Bloodstone, so missing 900 mana. EHOME maybe could take this fight, though they are lacking their Lina gods, and no buyback available.
To me, this is very much the time where you just farm your anti-mages, you split push. You have got level 3 mana void, but your AM needs more farm and more
They want to go. They've got Static Storm. They do have Winter's Curse. Kaka moving into position. Does he drop the combo? He's hesitating a bit here while Levin gets caught out. Oh, no. Lanham also not getting anything done. He flaps up to the high ground. Kinetic Field was dropped. Kaka with the Static Storm as well, but doing absolutely zilch. And this time around, the Anti-Mage, well, he's not coming to the fight. So when they maybe need him the most, he's missing. Lanham trying for a TP out. Zex Bingo. No more hook available.
I feel like that was the right play for CTY there, but the wrong play by his team. I think trying to contest that Roshan, as much as you've got one of the dream lineups to do it with the Darkseer plus Winter Wyvern, you're missing your Lina, and just the vision control on the Radiant side was adequate enough. Like, they had vision around the entrance to the pit where they were going to see it coming. Darkseer doesn't have a blink dagger. If Darkseer is a blink, maybe you can slightly consider it, but Force Staff does not cut it as an initiation tool for them to go for that play.
Well, perhaps they are missing ROTK here. Certainly they've got the veteran in Lanham, but EHOME just seem a bit out of sync. CTY going in when the team doesn't really want them to, then not coming to the fight when it seems they do. So whether it's on CTY or the team, there's certainly some miscommunication here, gods.
Oh yeah. He's back to farming. He's going to hit level 17 soon, so another point of mana
They're
break.
still in good shape, honestly. Like, even though that Roche is really bad, the game's about to be even, they still have the anti-mage.
I haven't
up against the Storm late game.
Can't say their play's been impressive, but they're still in a good position just by the nature of their draft and just, yeah, the overall strategy, I feel, favoring them. And, like, you look at Gyro going for this drums, BKB, and what looks to be a SMY build. It's going to be sometime before Xingqiu really looks like a big late game threat. If he can get to a BKB plus Monkey King Bar, there is potential, but it's, for Tongfu, it's going to be hard because Storm just, in a late game setting, normally Storm is fantastic, but against an AM, it's so hard to fight when you're losing, when you can't lose more than like half your mana pool or get blown up.
And CTY has completed the Mantis, so maintains his farm. Meanwhile, U9, 11 Bloodstone charges. Like, I guess that's the biggest worry here, gods, is that U9 is just getting so much out of these fights. Even though his net worth isn't quite there, the Bloodstone charges always delicious.
Yeah, if he can get up, I think he needs to get even more, though, when you're dealing with an AM. You need that really fast mana regen so you can go in for a kill, and then AM's often going to be split pushing and then looking to TP in, so by the time an AM TP's in, maybe you regen a lot.
U9, he's dove in deep. It's into a Static Storm that he goes. He has the Aegis, though. They try to keep Old Chicken alive. Poor Staffy him out. 11 engaging here, but the Epicenter's there to greet him. He gets the wall out, but what does it matter? Gyrocopter just rushes past this anti-mage arriving. Has the Mana Void, but U9 still holding the Aegis. Doesn't really want to commit it here on the way in. Gonna try to save it for that second life, or at least until he's next to an ally trapped in the static field. Will end up going down, blinking forward. Mana Voids the Dazzle instead. CTY will secure the actual kill. And now they will pop the Aegis. Can they kill him a second time, though? No Winter's Curse.
No
There's
disable.
a glimpse available, but that's it.
Yeah, AM actually blinked away because he was scared of the Storm there, which was probably the right move, because even if they kept the Mana Void for Storm, they had no way to lock him down or to burn his Mana Pool. So yeah, that was overall not a good fight for EHOME. They do take out the Storm Aegis, but there was no real way for them to fight into the Storm Aegis. AM shows up, gets the most out of a fight, which is just the 1 kill onto Dazzle, and then it's back to pushing. So
Did they still haven't fixed the Roche clock, huh? I guess not.
Looks like no.
So
There's.
does this mean, I don't know.
It doesn't mean anything.
Okay. It's
From
just
my experiences,
random?
it moves like really slowly, or sometimes it just doesn't move at all.
Okay. So
From my experience,
I
it
think
means
the Aegis
nothing, at
I don't
least.
even think the Aegis had that much time left, though. It was
They would
couple
have
minutes
roached
ago they got
about,
it.
4 minutes ago maybe.
So, popping the Aegis in that case really
Yeah.
doesn't do much for you.
Now, that was great Aegis use from Storm and like great commitment to chase down Lina by the tier 4 towers, but he knew he had the Aegis and he knew there was no way he would die a second time. If he kills Lina, there's nothing to disable him on respawn. The Lina's the one hero who can like Light Strike array you on respawn and then you die, but Winter's Curse was used on the initiation, as was the Static Storm. So that's your lockdown taken out of the picture.
Well, U9's got the Orchid. Of course, Anti-Mage already has his Manta style, so he'll be safe, but can't say the same for some of these backliners, Gods. You've got a Wyvern with no way to get out of that. A Disruptor who's building towards his Glimmer Cape. Doesn't have it just yet, though. And even a Darkseer, no way to escape. 3 heroes that could be cannon fodder for the Storm.
Oh yeah. And they're going to go for a smoke immediately upon picking up this Orchid. Let's see what
They love to smoke. These guys are smoke happy. Like every time there's one off cooldown, insta pop.
Kaka he uses his ulti on this top creep wave, by the way. He wanted to kind of push it out and then immediately go home, but this, I mean, could open up a push. It's 90 seconds where it's down, but none of the waves are really in a position to go for a push, so they won't find anything.
Glimmer Cape secured, and there's the blink, so 11 finally gets what he was lacking for the last Roche fight.
And yeah, they really thought someone was maybe hiding top, waiting to split push, but not the case, and they're getting kind of out farm right now, but they were just really hoping that they could get a kill with that smoke, but good play and shot calling there from EHOME to not get caught out.
You're going to go see CTY building out towards a butterfly. Gets the Eagle's Horn. As of late, it feels like most players are favoring the Abyssal Blade first a little bit.
I definitely favor, especially against Storm, I feel like it's a fantastic item after Manta because you can actually just, you blink Abyssal him every single fight and he just gets melted by your Manta illusion.
Tongfu scrambling the defense here. CTY up in front. Does not have an Aegis or anything like that. He blinks out. Storm jumping in very deep. Has blown almost all his mana off the bat, though. The calldown's an airball. Now the Yule's trying to turn this one a little bit. Gets the stun off on the Storm Spirit. Look for the Mana Void. CTY just waiting for the opening, but while he's busy waiting, he's getting caught by the Veil of Discord Epicenter. Forced back almost instantly. Old Chicken left to his own devices. 4 down, and Anti-Mage just watching while the world burns around him.
Bit of an odd fight from both teams. Like the hook shot got blocked by the Storm, who kind of overcommitted early on with his ball lightning and had to fall backwards, which is what led to the blocked hook. And I think U9 just kind of
and then they whiffed the call down.
Yeah,
but then they just get all the kills anyway.
Sanking did not whiff anything though. That was the important bit there. He kind of went on the Anti-Mage. Doesn't actually kill him, but it prevents AM from staying and fighting. AM can't fight the Storm once he's down to like 300 or 400 HP.
And with that Veil, the magic damage hurts him. Like CTY couldn't take it.
Tanked like the full epicenter, and that did like close to
3/4 of his health with the rocket barrage as well.
That was
he definitely needs a BKB at some point this game. It feels.
Yeah, I think Abyssal BKB to me is just one of. I mean, there's no like set. It's always game dependent, but it's very consistently one of the kind of best ways to itemize for AM.
CTY is busy doing a little rat. They zip U9, guessing the wrong direction.
He's got 11 charges now. That fight was already at 13. Gets him another 4 and
17 charges.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's getting out of control.
That's worrisome.
They still have this big AoE combo. The vacuum into the Winter's Curse.
It's being disrupted a lot, though, with the Clockwork Hook, the Blink Burrow Strike from Sand King. They aren't always able to easily get it off. Tongfu kind of are good at creating these chaotic split-up team fights. Storm Spirit obviously can position and move around freely. It's just the Gyrocopters to waddle in with a BKB, but as long as heroes like Sand King and Clockwork aren't just standing next to Gyro, they're normally pretty good, well off to kind of counter-initiate and make a good play with their ultis.
And now a gem pickup for EHOME to match the one that was purchased earlier by Zix Bingo.
The one place where this Butterfly does shine is for the split push. If EHOME don't want a team fight, the Butterfly is the way to go as far as you're maximizing your damage output, push, and split push.
He will have it now. He doesn't want to save for buyback. Purchases the Quarterstaff, can get the Talisman. TPs himself home. Looks like he will go for the Butterfly, not saving for buyback. Just get his next big item.
Yeah, risky times for him. Gyro now has a Demon Edge, so starting to work towards that physical damage that the MKB provides. And that's also the other reason why the Butterfly is a little surprising, because you know Gyro is likely to go for the MKB regardless of this Butterfly as his next item.
Yeah, it's something Winter was talking about when we were casting. That this is where generally you don't really want to buy the Eagle Horn and show it, because then they know you're going Butterfly and they've got more time to counter it. But then again, I guess for Gyro, MKB's the natural next item anyway.
I think that's definitely a good point, though. It's like maybe he would have gone, I don't know what,
Satanic or Butterfly of his own.
Skadi or Butterfly of his own. Butterflies became more and more popular in Gyro as like a pushing item because the evasion helps against towers and poke damage in the front. So
yeah, teammate showing himself, throws the illusions, running
careful
down the bottom lane, popping that Manta rather freely.
Yeah, I think he feels safe doing so whenever his supports are behind him because he has got Static Storm and Winter's Curse to counter initiate. But yeah, in general, it's a risky thing to do if you're ever alone split pushing.
CTY 400 CS, but it just doesn't. We're not quite feeling the impact, at this point in the game, if you've had 1 or 2 good fights as AM, you're at like 25k gold.
Yeah, this AM play's not been CTY's best.
He's dominating the creeps. Let me tell you that. CTY is getting his farm, but haven't felt his presence yet in the fight.
Respawning now, Tongfu. Already in position to go for this. I'm going to D-ward first, reveal that they are right by the pit, but they may just kind of challenge EHOME to come and take a fight. Something EHOME with the Darkseid Winter Wyvern combo may be more than happy to do, though. They've also got a smoke available if they want to go for it.
Tongfu, they want to Roche, but CTY is probably going to just keep this pressure up in the top lane. Creeps march in, nobody yet scouted, and EHOME are smoking. Maybe trying to catch 1 or 2 heroes coming back to defend on their own. The Roche still at half HP. Let's see if they try to
Are they going for
catch
the
CTY. They want to take this big team fight under the Radiant base, and if they come back one at a time, it could be disastrously bad for them.
They know they're here. They're like
Burrow coming in. Disruptors about to jump in. They'll glimpse back one. This gives CTY a lot of freedom here with Clockwork out of the picture. He's going to have to hoof it back the hard way. EHOME trying to jack the Rex. Unexpectedly so, as Stormball's in, has the Aegis, may lose it quickly here though. Static Storm coming out, Epicenter decently placed from LPC, but CTY engages onto this one. They will pop that Storm Aegis.
They've got Winter's Curse.
So they fight for round number 2. CTY engaging on the Xingqiu. Winter's Curse comes through. CTY trapped out though by the hook shot. He's got to jump himself away, blinks back out. This gives the Storm all the freedom in the world, and Xingqiu cleans up the backlines. An ultra kill for him. They just can't deal with the Storm's second life.
That's a ballsy call from EHOME. They wanted to force the high ground, knowing that EHOME are looking to finish Roshan. They'll TP back and they can glimpse people away. But I feel like they needed to get the glimpse on someone like a Storm Spirit as he TP'd back. I guess he has a ton of mana and can just ball from far. Maybe and then Gyro's going to BKB it. So the only realistic target was the Sand King or the Clockwork. And glimpsing back a Clockwork didn't really prevent Tongfu from fighting. They just threw away an Aegis to defend their racks, which is more than okay for them because it's it's like team wipe after team fight. Tongfu are dominating every single fight convincingly.
CTY's cutting the wave, but it's too late. There are already plenty of creeps mid, and
he's also going for
trying to pursue Zex Bingo here. Mana Void's into the Blade Mail, almost losing all his mana from this initiation. Now the hook shot comes out, delaying the inevitable. CTY diving towards the well. He just desperately wants this kill. He'll get it as well, but my god, he had to work for it. And now they drop the wall, the whole team retreating. CTY could look to engage. They've already lost the melee Rex, though, so the damage was done. They glimpse back the Gyro, catching him out. This could be big. The calldown's there. They all walk into it, taking some hefty damage, but CTY in position to clean up, salvaging the fight. I mean, that ends a godlike streak, and Old Chicken gets the last hit. That will be his Aghanim Scepter, almost.
That's actually a really important item for EHOME right now, it feels like. Having an Ags on Lina, I feel like the BKB was no right choice, but Lina's farm just completely fell off. You're looking at 12k net worth on Lina right now. That to me hasn't cut it, and the BKB on Gyro has just given him so much freedom in fights, and the Ags for Lina is essential. I feel like it's an item if they had 5-10 minutes ago, they would have been in a much better position.
Oh. C2I continues his farm. He does have a nearly completed Heart of Taras. So not getting the Abyssal, not getting a BKB.
I mean, the Heart versus BKB I can kind of understand, because when you've got such high magic resistance, having raw HP, which you get more of from the Heart than the BKBs, can work fine, but Abyssal is just an item he has to go back for in the late game. Especially with, it looks like this game could be headed to the late game. Tongfu have taken the first racks, but EHOME by all means have a great lineup to deal with losing a lane or even multiple lanes of racks. Not to mention, they're starting to look pretty scary with the AM's farm as well as the farm elsewhere with Lina about to finish an Ags. So
looks like they're going to try to get a solution here to the anti-mage gods. As Xingqiu picks up a basher.
I love this item.
Abyssal on the agenda.
Yeah. This is a really cool item on Gyro. I think it's incredibly underrated just because of the raw damage Abyssal gives you. It's something that Gyro needs when he's flacking. It kind of, or even
It's
when
like a
he's
mini
not flacking.
rapier,
Yeah,
basically.
it's one of the best. Just it's what, like plus 80 damage or 100 damage. It's something absurd. It's can't see what the Lincoln's picked up. Storm, by the way, with the Lincolns helps him out. Plus 85 damage, and the Lincolns for Storm are going to help deal with that Mana Void or a Winter's Curse. There's a few spells out there to break it. Thunderstrike probably being the best one, but it's hard to
Even
just walk up
Glimpse
and use it.
is quite nice.
Yeah, that's actually got a really long cast range, so that's maybe the ideal way of breaking Lincolns.
Oh. Yeah, it's the ideal way of breaking it, but even just blocking it so you don't get caught in a static storm would be very potent here.
So this game is still very much up in the air with that one melee rack's not going to really cripple EHOME by any means. I mean, the bigger concern is just that they're losing all the team fights we're seeing, but that can well change as AM has a 2.7k HP now. Lina has an Ag Scepter. These are two kind of big factors
It just
for them.
takes one slip up though. You know, you get that vacuum into Winter's Curse. Oh, speaking of slip up, CTY, he's in quite far. He does have the heart now. He's very tanky. He jumps directly on top of the Sand King. Hello, sir. What you up to over here in the trees? I'd love to pay you a visit. Now tries to jump away. Will Burrow Strike and then retreat out even further, popping the Blink and the Force Staff. CTY still chasing him though. Sandstorm used once more. Is anybody gonna join CTY in his adventures? No, he's just. What are you doing, dude? Back off.
No one actually has detection on the dire side, which is a bit concerning. Need probably time to get a gem, if anything.
They had one, but I think they lost it in the previous fight.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, they lost everyone except AM. So
yeah, there's an extra gem in the Radiant base.
Yep. And it looks like Wyvern, Blink Dagger comes up. This is an important item to have. You want to be able to hit that Blink Winter's Curse so you can stay way back, because Storm Spirit's always looking to catch someone like the Winter Wyvern with an initiation. Storm, for the most part, will be ignoring AM, unless AM's grossly out of position.
I mean, why not? He's not doing anything to the Storm in this game. We haven't seen the AM kill the Storm once. Storm's 3-0 and 11. He hasn't died.
Storm's being the one.
How does Storm not die versus Alina, Disruptor, and Anti-Edge? Even a Wyvern. Like, they have 4 heroes that are good against Storm.
This has been, I mean, a lot of it's come down to just good play coming out of U9, but I think some of it's, EHOME have been a bit all over the place with their overall strategy this game.
Well, they're not out of it by any means, though. EHOME, as much as the execution's been lacking, certainly compared to the TI5 EHOME, they only have lost to melee racks, and they do have the anti-mage factor.
I do like Tongfu. They've got a much clearer plan going towards late game. Like, you've got the Lincolns, which to me is a great late game item for Storm because he will be able to deal with those single target, high impact spells. Gyro going for the Abyssal Blade is another just really good late game item compared to just going for like a, I don't know, pure damage Daedalus, or even a Skadi. I feel like doesn't give you. He needs more damage, and the lockdown Abyssal gives you more so than he needs some extra HP. And the other item which is going to help them a lot late game is a Solar Crest on Faith, because don't see AM building an MKB at any point. So if you can give your Gyrocopter evasion and he doesn't have to build a butterfly, fantastic. And yeah, you build a butterfly regardless, because after the Abyssal Blade, it gives you great attack speed and you get some bashes in there as well.
Yeah, AM can't really go MKB. If he does, he's not going Abyssal.
Yeah.
Or he's getting rid of one of his big tier 4 items.
Yeah, it's one or the other, and I guess that's where he's going to be somewhat tested here. We've seen the CTY.
How is... It's just unbelievable that he's 3k ahead of a Gyro with 200 extra CS, because that Gyro is 11-3-3 and CTY 2-1-2, and this is it's just where you want the Abyssal, so you can just get kills. Like the Sand King TP's home, you just blink Abyssal him, you kill him.
I feel like this is almost like a repeat of that legendary CTY anti-mage games. Not quite to the same extent. There's potential for it to reach that point.
LPC's chasing him. He's not even afraid of this AM.
Like, are we going to see him just start panicking, selling his
The
Battle Fury, rebuying it?
The excellent adventures of CTY. I mean, honestly, I think he should be changing out his items at this point.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it's feeling. Like, having a heart as well as a Vlad's definitely redundant. He has gotten rid of the Vlad's at least, so. I don't know. Just not, he's not threatening. He's like this tanky damage dealer if you don't stun him.
You
But
can be so threatening in a team fight for a Storm. Like, Storm will never want to ball in if you've got an Abyssal Blade. Storm doesn't actually have the same kind of backup. Like, if you have especially with Abyssal BKB.
there you go.
If you ever blink Abyssal the Storm and you've got BKB, there's no counter initiation outside of a hook shot, which chances are it's already been used, or you're blocking the hook shot with like your teammates or your Manta illusions. Something is gonna kind of prevent it from happening. So
He's making the adjustments now.
Yeah.
Picks up the basher.
doesn't have any TP and no boots of travel, but you're pretty mobile around the map with travels. Both teams wary of Roshan, of course.
Blinking in his Lanham, trying to
Needs
find the
vision for
setup
glimpse.
here. And he gets hooked for his trouble. Now the slight glimpse back on his X-Bingo, but doesn't really pull him in all that far. And the Static Storm's going to come through. CTY able to just barely get out of it, it looks like, and try to engage onto U9, who's already had his Lincoln Sphere pop. He doesn't have an Aegis. There you go. Press R, delete the Storm.
Storm's back,
He's
though.
back already. He's got so many Bloodstone charges, and AM, although he gets the Storm, it may as well have got nothing, because it's already a 5v2 again.
I feel like that was actually a very strategic play from U9, where he's like, I'm probably going to die here. Unless AM really fucks up and uses Mana Void on my Lincolns, like, I'll probably die here, but it's worth it because I insta-respawn, we're going to win the fight, and then we can high ground. AM has no Mana Void for 40 seconds.
Now they
Wall
do
is
have
available.
have back wall. They actually
That's
didn't even
scary.
use Winter's Curse. And there is a glyph.
They've got to go quick,
This
but
could backfire for Tongfu if they're not careful.
Yep, still no Solar Crest for Dazzle, just going to be popping the medallion on Xinkyu in the front lines, but
Checking the buybacks here for the Dire squad. They've got one on Darks here, one on Anti-Mage. So he can buy back.
easy
and-
tower deny for CTY.
Oh, man. Last hitting champion this game. They are going to engage. Here comes the Winter's Curse. Back's there. Wall deployed as well. Kaka, though, does get silenced. Not able to follow this one up fully. Will quickly drop, and then we lag out a little bit. Perfect world, please. CTY getting chain stunned for days. Tries to run away. Gets caught by a follow-up Burrow Strike on the retreat out. And U9 going to look to auto-attack him down. He blinks back once more. But he's sacrificing the team on the way out. Old Chicken now in pursuit. Has the Laguna Blade. Has the BKB. Should be able to get the combo off here. No, X-Bingo force staffing away. He will dodge through that one. CTY finding one more. 2 for 2 overall with the buybacks not yet having to be used. CTY gets another bash and gets another kill. 3 for 2 in that particular engagement. That's your Abyssal.
Okay.
And now the Anti-Mage is scary.
Yep. I think he actually Mana Voided the Lincolns that fight, which would have been a kill in the Storm. I actually DC'd while I'm trying to check the combat log.
I totally lagged out
Yeah,
in the middle of that, so.
I just saw the Mana Void animations, and then Storm's Lincolns went on cooldown around the same time, so that was a very laggy, choppy. I just hope it was. I assume it wasn't like that for the players as well, since there was no
They would
pauses or
have
comment.
paused. I mean,
Yeah.
even though it was in the middle of the fight, so.
And AM's into the Roche pit, so
What do you do now? Drop
drop
your
your
treads?
treads. Let's go. Or give it to Lena.
He doesn't have buyback.
He has buybacks soon. He'll
After
find
he gets Roche, he
Roshan
probably-
plus Ancients, he'll have buyback.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Lena's Lena's dying every
This
fight.
Lane has one life, though. She's not doing anything with her second life. But
Immortality.
she will grab the Aegis. Of course, slots become an issue now.
Yep. Yeah, AM reaching that 6-slotted state just upgrades to the Boots of Travel. Can buy that Moonshard, and
That's a good point. He's not fully done farming here. Can get the moon shards, get the BOT level 2s eventually once you save for buyback.
and Gyro now transitioning to lifesteal. He really needed that last fight. He got great, but it's like he's got no way to actually heal back up while he's low on HP. After the Winter's Curse, he got a BKB off. He stayed alive for a long time, but only because of the Grave. And with the Satanic, he could have fully regen there, and that would have been game over. EHOME probably would be out of this game. So we'll build towards a Satanic. The main thing with this item build, without a Butterfly or an AC or anything, his attack speed isn't amazing. So
And he doesn't have the Legion Commander like we saw last game,
Yeah.
so.
He'll lose a head-on fight against the AM for the most part because of the Butterfly attack speed with bashes. Like, he's going to bash nowhere near as much as an AM. He's going to get chain stunned. AM will get bashed every once in a while because Gyro being ranged is 10% bash.
Yeah, the Butterfly would be nice on multiple fronts. Punish CTY for not having MKB, and also just help you attack quite a bit faster.
Looking for Sanking there. Don't quite catch him.
Playing with a little more aggression now. CTY knows he has buyback. The lanes are shoved in reasonably far. And they're thinking about the jump in. CTY goes up to the high ground, pops the Manta. Now he decides to run away. He'll be okay. Unfortunately, not able to find that initiation.
Storm with the Lincolns means he's also safe from being like solo killed by an AM by a Blink Abyssal. Since AM can't break that Lincolns by any means.
So, guys, for those just joining us, it's a 1.5 lane advantage right now for Tongfu. They did get that ranged Rex bottom in the previous fight. Not normally considered a huge objective, but
it's also game 1 of the best of 3. For
it
those of
is.
you unaware of the
yes.
the bug in
the
Reborn.
scoreboard is useless. Ignore that.
Yes.
We probably should just not be using it, to be honest. I think it's more confusing than it is helpful.
Yeah. I mean, I don't even think you can watch tournament replays. I've tried to like download a few tournament replays, and it seems to be completely
Can't watch
broken.
replays. Dota TV audio apparently doesn't work.
So
Also, tickets don't work because you can just watch any game in Dota TV even when you don't own the ticket, which probably makes the freeloaders happy, but isn't so good for the tournament's crowdfunding and growing their prize pools.
You're calling a freeloader LD.
Eternal Envy and Arteezy, man. They're the freeloaders. CTY will blink up to the Ancients now. Gonna farm those as well. 4K net worth on the Anti-Magus. He finds his way into the trees. I feel like that's a parable for this game.
Yeah. They're kind of looking like they want to go on the offensive here with the Aegis still a few minutes before timing out. They feel somewhat confident that they can make a play.
Eyes on the buybacks here. The Dire have 3, all their core heroes, none of their supports. Radiant have 4. Storm is going to ball in rather deep on the top side of the map. Does have to be a bit cautious, though, as a glimmered Disruptor was hunting him.
Yeah. Disruptor stopped building towards the Ags to pick up this Ghost Scepter, so it doesn't look like we'll be seeing an Ags anytime soon from Kaka, which could have become a problem item for some of these heroes, but not going to be the case.
Well, EHOME are a little cautious about this push. They want to get all the lanes in, but now bottom lane's pushing out. Maybe need those boots of travel on the anti-mage just to ensure all the lanes are pushed.
He's got the money for it if he decides to go for that. There we go. Aegis reclaimed in 1 minute 18.
There's a glyph still available, and they're going to hook onto CTY off the back, cogging him back into the trees. Then they burrow strike him as well with the Veil there. CTY just engages in. He says, screw you, man. Double Abyssal. One each direction comes out. Then the back wall is there. CTY held in position. He's losing the man fight here for now. He will have a buyback if necessary, but then starts getting the bashes. Monovoids the gyrocopter. Blinks away. Lina tries to clean up. Kyle on the backside doing what he can. LPC. Damage not done. The anti-mage will end up falling, and now the buybacks start coming out. Both carries immediately rejoining the fight. Anti-mage BOTing in is going to look to re-engage here. Gotta beware the Mana Void. The Wyvern going to finish up one, but CTY is not hunting for kills. He's working on objectives, brings down the range Rex, trying to focus
CTY can't die, otherwise EHOME lose.
And he will get caught by an initial burrow strike, but do they have the firepower to finish him off? Still, the Wyvern alive. They also have a little bit of support here from the Darks here, potentially. They hook onto CTY. They are bursting him pretty low. The Cog back, dropping him even further into submission. He's going to have to jump away. Unai commits deeply onto this one. Diving in again. That's a dieback on CTY. 2 minutes on the sideline while the creeps march in mid. They're banging away at the tier 4 towers, and EHOME just may have thrown this game, flushed it down the toilet. This is going to be tough to hold from here, gods. No anti-mage for 2 minutes. It's 4v5, which is pretty much how the game's felt the entire time.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the old CTY that you did not see at TI5. He's back. He's back in the anti-mage.
All right, 11, what you got? What you got?
I guess he's got wall soon. I don't even think that's enough. It's like, the illusions aren't going to be a huge problem for him.
It's over, gods. How do they hold from here? They're going to jump directly into Old Chicken. Static Storm was planted down, but not going to end up being enough. They vacuum, they wall, they follow this one up. ZQ's hunting for kills, but he could just be focusing the Rex during this time. Actually, the throw, not the Rex. What am I talking about? ZQ thrown up in the air. The GG comes out. EHOME just collapsing under the pressure of psychology, I guess. Jeez.
I mean, I honestly, like, we talked like right after the draft. You asked me who won the draft. I was like, very confident EHOME won it. What I was really thinking is, there's no way EHOME loses this game. Like, I didn't want to like tell the viewers like this game's over before it began, but I did not see a way for EHOME to lose this game based on the draft. Like, this to me was a big outdraft. EHOME to me just fell apart though, in all throughout. I mean, it's not even like one stage of the game. Like the early game lanes were fine. Like the first 10 minutes were fine, but from 10 minutes onwards,
like go back to what, the 15-20 minute mark when he's like 13-minute Battle Fury treads. He gets the Vlads like a couple minutes later. They've already pushed down both tier 1s. They could easily take the Roche. His team gets 2 kills top, and they're going to grab the tier 1 for free in the enemy offlane. That CTY dives into the enemy tier 2, dies to 3 heroes, and it just felt like that was the beginning of the tilt, honestly. It just felt like a tilt game from him.
No, it definitely did. I don't want to like pin all the blame on him because I feel like even his team made some bad calls. Going for Roshan when AM was split pushing, trying to contest the Roshan. When Tongfu were in the Roshan pit and they went in and gave away 3 kills, they had Lina dead. That to me was a really bad decision from the team as well. Like that was to me something where CTY did not personally mess up. So it wasn't just CTY.
That was the big moment when maybe they got frustrated with how the game was going from him, and then it kind of has that ricochet effect the other way.
So,
well, Tongfu take game 1, guys. Best of 3 here. Game 2 coming up next.